The trail is a metaphor for change. Although hiking, and specifically endurance hiking, is now a big part of my day-to-day, it's not just about exercise. It's about transformation. Each step is a movement towards clarity, purpose, and identity. But movement is one thing, sharing insights gained is another. As a U.S. Marine veteran, I created this space to help other veterans gain clarity, purpose, and identity. Let's walk this path together. This is Trail to Transformation.
Most people aren't broken, they're just dysregulated. Chronic stress, pain, anxiety, and burnout aren't mindset failures. They're nervous systems stuck in survival. I'm Leland Holegate, combat veteran and neuroscientist, and I created the Welcome Home method to help people rewire their nervous systems with breath. And to go deeper, visit thewillfulwarrior.com.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, my name is Dr. Keith McNally, and I'm here with Leland. And so we need to take a deeper dive into what I just saw, because literally that's the first time I've ever seen it. Leland, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So before we begin, let's give a bit more of a background of who you are and why you're having this conversation with me.
Awesome. Yeah. So, combat veteran, I joined the Air Force at a very young age, 17. Also came from a military household. Dad was a Special Forces Ranger, and it goes back grandpa and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, joined early, and Dad was kind of happy about that because he didn't want me going the combat route. Oops. I got into a very deployed squadron. So yeah, he wasn't too happy, of course, when he found out about some of the tests that I had passed and like, oh my God, Dad, you're never going to believe it. So anyways, was tasked with one of the most deployed squadrons throughout the entire United States military, and saw places like the Middle East, Kenya, Northern Iraq when we weren't there. And my last tour of duty was Kosovo. So I was there for the Yugoslavian conflict. And after that, coming back, I had it set in my heart to go do my Hell Week, right? That was the last thing I needed to do. I did my SEER training, which is survival, evasion, resistance, and escape, my POW training, earned my expert marksman. So all I had to do was pass my Hell Week to actually get my beret and be in the pararescue combat control side, the Special Forces side of the Air Force. Well, when we got back from Kosovo, we get our usual, 3 to 7 days of R&R. And as you can imagine, we can't just go ride a bike to let go of things. We got to get the haunches up. So we went out and got the fastest watercraft that we could and started doing inner tubing. And again, we can't just go inner tubing. We had to take it to the extreme at every level. And I goaded the driver, who was a Marine, funny enough, told him stop driving like he was in the Air Force, and he listened. So once I noticed the skips became fewer and fewer, I kind of tuned into, this is really not a good place to be. I don't think I should be where I'm at right now. And right when that thought hit me, he cut left. And as you can imagine, it was just a slingshot. From that point forward, I was just a pebble in a slingshot and along for the ride. And all I remember was the water and then blackness. And that was it. So apparently I had snapped my neck. I didn't know then what had happened, but snapped my neck at C1, C2 and was face down floating in the water. Yeah. R&R, right? Rest and recovery. Yeah. But thankfully, one of my other brothers was on a wave runner nearby, saw me, of course, floating face in the water. So knew that wasn't exactly a good sign. So he ripped over to me, pulled me up, wore me like a belt, and got me into the shoreline, which we can, of course, talk a little bit more about it. But there was 3 minutes and 48 seconds where I had no heartbeat, and no breathing. So I was declared dead there on the scene. They had to move through resuscitation. And I watched the whole thing, which is another conversation we could have. It's the typical out-of-body experience that you hear from other people, just being the observer, no sound, no care in the situation, just watching it. Obviously, he revived me, or I would not be here talking with you. But once we got to the hospital after the madness of this extreme contrast, right? Most peaceful moment I've ever had in my life. Just no wants, no needs, no thoughts, just watching things happen to beeps and chaos inside of the ambulance. And then once they got me to the hospital, they did an MRI and found a silver dollar size contusion right on C1, C2.
Before you continue, your camera's playing tricks on you.
It does that all the time. I swear to God, these AI things, it likes to get super up close.
All good, all good. And I appreciate that introduction. Really scary, probably for you and your loved ones and everything. I've never had an out-of-body experience, although I've attempted to take my life a couple of times. I can imagine uh, what life would have been like then after the fact, because, like you said, you're here now talking to me, so there had to be a whole recovery element to what happened.
Yeah.
Talk just real briefly about how that recovery element did happen, and because I want to eventually get to your breath work, which is the foundation of how you're helping people. But I want to get to that through what I would call uh, a trail to transformation.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I noticed in the ambulance that of course completely freaked me out is here I am just shy of my 20th birthday, almost my 3-year mark in the military. And after the EMT asked me if I could feel things, I was like, hold on a minute. Where's my arms? Where are my legs? Why is it hard to breathe? Like there was an elephant sitting on my chest. So I was declared a quadriplegic from that point. I couldn't feel anything from my Adam's apple down. So to your point, like you can imagine, that was the scariest, most helpless feeling that I had ever felt, apart from being in certain combat situations in the war. You feel very helpless, and when you're in a big clunky metal aircraft where all of your training goes out the window, it was the same situation, because here I am, I can't move anything, I can't use the bathroom by myself, I can't feed myself. What the heck is happening? And you can imagine this is 1999, so the conversation wasn't exactly very positive coming from the doctors on my potential futures and things that I would be able to do from that point forward. So the first 2 to 3 days were really hard. I was asking my friends and brothers to kill me. I was done. I was finished. I was like, no, you're not going to leave me here like this. I will come back and haunt you and bite you on the ankles if I have to. Like, you do not leave me in this situation. So the first 3 days were pretty dark, visiting, the same situation that you had been through yourself. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. If this is my experience for the rest of my life, I say no.
Yeah.
So thankfully there was something in the military training, especially in SEER training. It's always, you're not forgotten, we're coming for you. You just keep fighting. 3 strikes, you're not out. There's always something you can do. Resist, escape. So all of this kept playing over, and I get like chills in my body every time I think about that moment in time. And that, just something about that made me spout off to the doctor as he's going through his, limiting your life beliefs experience and what he thinks is possible for me. And in that moment when I yelled at him, I could feel this whoop of energy. Yeah, well, you can imagine, right? You're like, dude, shut up. My God, get out of my room. I'm so done hearing what you think.
I've wanted to yell at some doctors too, and then I became one. But
and now I'm on the road to become one myself. Yeah, it's funny how that works. But yeah, it was interesting, because in that moment when I yelled at him, I got this like big surge of energy that went down the sides of my scalenes, these shoulder muscles, ended right about at the tip of my, the shoulder here. But that right there was all I needed. I was like, okay, Yep. You don't know what you're talking about. Exit stage left, send friends in, because I got some conversations and things to think about. I mean, it's the way they trained us, right? You don't get shot or get hurt in war and, oh, well, okay, I'm just going to lay here. No, they teach you, they train you to keep fighting, keep moving, keep going. Don't stop. We got you. We're coming for you. So the whole when the student is ready, the teacher shall appear happened. I had in 1999, very small, no coincidences. I don't believe in those, but I had the one male physical therapist, I swear to God, in the entire military, because all of the medical field, as far as I saw, were female. So in the 90s, I got the one male physical therapist. And also, if that wasn't a small enough percentage, he was an Ashtanga yogi. So he was not just a physical therapist. He was a yogi, a breath worker. He practiced Qigong, and he started talking to me about all of these things. But you can kind of imagine I was a little bit of a smart ass in the beginning, because he walks into my room talking about yoga, and I'm like, dude, if I could move my legs right now, I'd judo chop you in the freaking throat. That's funny. That's really, really funny. So after I kind of calmed down, settled back into the fact, like, oh, this dude's like freaking serious. Oh, okay, go ahead. Hit me with your knowledge. Let me know what we're going to be doing besides regular physiotherapy. And he hit me with my first experience of breath. And it was a lot of, like, people that have done Wim Hof, that's called cyclic hyperventilation. And when he hit me with that and he told me to breathe in and hold my breath, boom, I was back in that space again, just absolute peace. I didn't give a crap about what was happening down here. It was like absolute freedom and bliss mixed together. And I started to feel these little pins and needles right at the top of my chest. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's got the magic button. Like, something is happening here. So like a 5-year-old, I asked him again, hit me again. I want to do that again. And the same experience happened. So from that point forward, I was hooked. I was, as you could imagine, it was a good 2-year journey, that of course we can open up if you want, but 2 years to limp away from that after they told me that I might never walk again for the rest of my life.
So you tell me there are no coincidences or there's no happenstance, everything is intentional. That was very intentional for you. And so, just to divert a little bit, out of curiosity, why do you think that was intentional for you? Because it's going to bring us where you are here now,
Yeah.
but so you had to find a way of helping yourself in order to help other people. But I want to kind of tap into your brain a bit. Why do you think it was intentional for you to go through that?
Yeah, it was one of those things, and this is funny too, right? Because people ask me sometimes, what are like some of the biggest blessings in your life? Oh, that time I broke my neck. And they look at me all cockeyed like, what? How is that one of the biggest blessings in your life? I was like, because it forced me to take a look at my possibilities. It forced me to stare into this dark void that I had been, avoiding my entire young childhood and young teenage life, from all of that trauma and everything else and everything I had experienced in all of these deployments. It just made me take a look in the mirror. It was one of the biggest blessings that made me review my possibilities, the way I show up for myself, to your point, right? I can't lead anybody if I can't lead this guy. So yeah, it really gave me that hard look at myself. Like, are you going to just be the flag in the wind, or are you going to recognize you're the wind, dude? Like, there's things you can do here. What do you want to do?
So, what is it that you wanted to do? Because that's a life changing event for you. So, you went from being this overly macho, soldier to somebody who's barely getting out of bed, but then you got a new shot at life. And so, what did you choose to do with it?
I chose to dig in like a tick on the possibility side of things. I was breathing like a maniac. Everything that he had given to me, all of the things that I looked at, like for me, of course, you can imagine back in that age, I thought yoga was for hot 20-year-old women in Lululemon pants, right? I
And
was
kind of give people a perspective, you were still in your early 20s.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I thought, like, oh, okay, that's for women my age that are super hot and wear Lululemon and like to, practice on mats and things. And then I kind of realized, like, no, that's just very small piece of what yoga is. For me, it was recognizing that yoga is literally the way you show up for yourself. Everything inside of yoga is introspective and allowing you again to take a real view at what you may be ignoring, at some of the things that you may just be giving up in your life. And I recognized at that point in time how much I had been giving up on myself. So it really forced me to take a look in the areas where here is the most extreme situation, and your immediate thought was, oh, there's nothing I can do. I'm screwed. I'm out of here. And then all of a sudden, here's this different experience where now you're given this tool that's literally free. You come into the world with it. It's absolutely available whenever you want it. And next thing you know, within 2 months, I had 60% of my upper body back. Within the, like I said, 2 years, I was limping away. I wasn't perfect, but oh my God, I got up out of my wheelchair. I got a new lease on life, to your point, like you said.
Well, let's talk about the science then, or at least much as the science that would make sense for this conversation. What's going on with breath work that allowed that your body to change? Because you said, I think you said earlier, at least in off conversation, off the record, that you're going to go through for your PhD in neuroscience.
Yes,
So talk to us a little bit about the science, because right now you're talking, woo space,
exactly.
yogi, breath work, and for many people probably watching this for the first time, those are concepts, very foreign concepts. And so let's bring this down to some practicality.
Yeah,
What are we talking about?
I love it. And in fact, that is what led me to neuroscience. Because I was always that kid that took dad's drill apart. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to figure out how this thing works. Didn't really ever get it back together the same way, but still taking things apart to figure out how they were done it's still who I am, which is why now, about 3 semesters shy of getting my master's in biomedical neuroscience. And even just in the beginning, recognizing that the breath itself, from a neurochemical standpoint and a physiological standpoint, it is the one unique system inside of your body that is A, automatic, and B, controlled. So it is literally the switch, the mechanism that controls the entire CEO of your life, which is your nervous system. Your entire nervous system runs absolutely every aspect of your life, right? Your mind is a construct of that nervous system. So that's where, thoughts and all these things that are electrochemical signals happen. So when you look at what happens with the breath, it is built into your brainstem, straight into the root of your survival. And inside of your brainstem is what controls rhythmic breath, blood pressure, and all of these signals to the brain and to the body to create very specific hormones, to create new neurotransmitters, to create new neuromodulators. And what we're seeing now on the science side of things is when you yoke the breath in the way that I teach, you're actually increasing something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's what created your brain and your spinal column. It is literally the protein marker, the growth hormone that when you were rolling around in your mom's belly, that's what was creating your brain and your spinal column. So literally what we're seeing, and there's more emerging science that's coming out, and thankfully I get to be a part of that research, we're noticing neurogenesis, the creation of new neurons, which they said was impossible, especially back when I had my injury. They're like, sorry, kid, stuck with what you got. Oh, dear Lord. So yeah, the breath is literally the lever for every action inside of your body. Think about it. You can go without food for what, 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even longer if you meditate and whatever else. You can only go 3 to 4 days without water before everything goes bad. You can't go longer. Try to go longer than 5 minutes without taking a breath and see how well it goes.
Well, just as an aside, you've told me you did some deep sea. You were a deep sea diver or some type of
Actually,
diver.
yeah. Yeah, I still do. I still do.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
pre-diving.
know how to hold your breath for
5 minutes and 45 seconds is what I'm up to now.
wow. So if we take a look at breath, can we do some kind of example or some
Sure.
kind of practice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this is astonishing to me, and I know we've got a little bit of time left. I do want you to talk about what exactly is the Willful Warrior, but is there like a 30-second breath work technique that you could show
There's a
us?
there's a 60 second. So we'll dive right into it, and it's super simple. So
Okay.
easy. 10 breaths in and out of your nose, and it'll sound like this. So 2 seconds in, 2 seconds out. No pauses. You're going to feel little woo. Okay, there's some things happening. That means you're doing it right. That means you're activating these things. On the 11th breath, I'm going to tell you to breathe in, hold your breath. The key is don't naturally when you hold your breath, everything tenses up. Hold your breath and just let everything sink and just sit in that for about 15 seconds. You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So it's with my nose only.
Yeah. Mouth closed, in and out of your nose. I'll have you exhale through your mouth, and then we're going to take 10 breaths in and out of just your nose.
Okay, so I'm just going to watch the camera, and you're going to talk me through it.
Got you. All right, here we go. So take a breath in all the way to the top and hold for just a moment. Hold right there. Just let go of all tension as you're holding your breath. Give yourself permission to really go in on this. Through the mouth, exhale all the way. In, out. In, out. A little faster. In, out. In, out. In and out of the nose. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Just 3 more. Just like that. Keep it going. Out. Now breathe in all the way. Hold. Swallow. Just let go of the tension. And when you're ready, here in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale and just pay attention to this cascade that happens through the body.
Okay.
That's just a small expression. And if we, with what you just did there, if we speed it up and cut some of those pauses out of there, so this is like something you can practice for yourself because you can use this anytime through the day. So it's a, and then when you breathe in on that 11th, like there's no missing it. It's boom, zing, holy crap. Sometimes you got to kind of hold on to the table like, oh, I think I'm going to go out. But even what you got there, small expression for you.
So if I do this on a regular basis, maybe a couple times a day, what should I experience? And I want you to answer real quickly. I want to end the conversation, then I'm going to invite you back because we can't possibly be done. There's a part 2 to this, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah.
So what should I experience if I do this on a regular basis? What's going to change?
Yeah, if you do that at least 3 times a day, you're literally upregulating your dose hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. That's your happy, your love, and all of your painkillers.
Which is what I need all the time.
Boom, we all do.
So for those who are watching and want to get in touch with you, how can they do that? That's going to end this conversation and bring you back.
They can check in on our YouTube. They can also go to our website at thewillfulwarrior.com, and there's multiple ways to contact me from those platforms.
Okay, will do. And so, Leland, the Willful Warrior, I want to thank you for joining me in this conversation. For those of you in the audience, as always, I will see you on the trail. Take care. Imagine a world where every veteran finds a reason to keep going. That's the vision behind the Trail to Transformation Foundation. Help us make it real. Donate through the GoFundMe link. And as